Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Xbox Casuals, the Xbox podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Corey Deergan. Alongside me, as always, is the person who will no longer be using the Nemesis system in any game whatsoever, Josh Finney.
Jesus Christ. This is already a catastrophe.
I know. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Corey.
Wouldn't be another week in the game industry without, talking about layoffs.
Talking about fucking layoffs. Yeah, there's been a few catastrophes as of late.
Yeah. I don't know, Josh. This is it's a big mess. Big mess.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of them.
So
since we last came together.
Yeah. Jeez, I don't even know what to do anymore, man.
I don't know. This is kind of a packed show, too, that we have today. I fully came in expecting to talk Avowed. But full disclaimer, I have had an extremely busy couple of weeks and have not made nearly as much progress as I wanted to, i.e. I haven't gotten too far, past the opening hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to have to be punted a little bit. I have been just gobsmackingly busy the last 2 weeks. But I'm still really enjoying my time with Avowed. I still think it's a good game. I don't think I said this on the Boss Rush Pod the other night. I don't think that it's the best Obsidian game. That honor goes to Pentiment or Fallout New Vegas. But it's probably like a tier below. I had Outer Worlds as like an A-. It's probably like a B+. Certainly not bad. It definitely gives me I think if you go in expecting an Elder Scrolls game, you're probably going to be disappointed, but it's like a more linear Elder Scrolls, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
The areas are kind of broken up and this and that. I like it. The main quest is what I'm still kind of I don't know how I feel about this, but everything else is great. The world is great. I like the characters. I just don't know how I feel about this main quest. And in a game like this, the main quest is what carries you. That was the big complaint a lot of people had about Cyberpunk when it first came out, was this main quest is kind of iffy at points, and but it took Phantom Liberty to pull that one back, and Phantom Liberty, what a great fucking expansion. Maybe the best expansion I've played in a long time. But I don't think there's going to be any DLC for Avowed. I feel pretty confident saying that right off the bat from what I've played so far. I don't think there's going to be one, but who knows, maybe the ending points to one. We got 2 DLCs for Outer Worlds that nobody was expecting, so
Yeah, but also
I also feel like Outer Worlds lends itself to that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think with Avowed, so we've heard that they're happy with the sales, which is good. That's good news.
That's good.
Yeah, but I mean, we've also heard that before. Aaron Greenberg famously said that a month and a half before they closed down, what's it called? Tango?
Tango?
Yeah, they said they were happy with the sales before they shut down Tango Gameworks, so I'm not going to take any comments like that at face value right now.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about how poorly marketed yet again a AAA game was by Xbox that's not called Call of Duty?
Shocking.
Fucking shocking.
Who's shocked? Anybody?
I want to take this moment to remind everybody that we got special controllers in the Xbox store for fucking Redfall, but we couldn't get one with the sick ass godlike skeleton from the Avowed key art. Okay. Bet. We couldn't get one for Indiana Jones. All right. Cool. Yeah, I'm just bummed. I think this is such a good game, and I think it's genuinely having some good word of mouth. But the marketing was so poor. Friends of mine who play their Xboxes regularly are Avowed is out, or it's coming out. Those were literally their reactions, and that is that's never okay.
Yeah, not great.
That's a bummer. Yeah, and your only marketing to your players can't just be, here's a little ad on the homepage for Avowed, hey, it's in Game Pass, or have a full screen pop-up when you turn on your console. There are other ways to market this game. I'm still baffled it was not in the developer direct, even it's just a trailer.
Right.
I think they got to get a little more flexible with the developer directs. I don't want it to turn into like a state of play, but somewhere between what they have, which I really, really love, and like a Nintendo Direct, somewhere in between would be great. Definitely like 75% what they have now, and like maybe like 20-25% like state of play or Nintendo Direct, where hey, we're willing to just throw like a trailer or two in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like Avowed, I think at that point I think the game speaks for itself. We've had so many great looks at it, but to not even have it in there 3 weeks before launch was just weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
But speaking of things that weren't there that should have been there, we're gonna start with some good stuff first.
Oh boy.
Things that should have been there that weren't there. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater is coming back, Corey.
Heck yeah. 3 and 4.
You guys know how much we love Tony Hawk here.
Oh, big Tony Hawk fan.
3 and 4 is like the golden age for me.
Oh my gosh, dude, 3 is my favorite. I mean, I have a lot of great memories of 2, but 3 I think is the best one in my opinion.
I was thinking about this earlier. I was too young to appreciate 1 when it came out. Plus I only had an N64. These games did not play well on the N64. I want to emphasize that to everybody.
What do you mean? I have both Tony Hawk games on N64.
They're so bad. I did not understand why people like Tony Hawk 2 so much until I played it on I played it on Xbox, funny enough.
Oh, the 2X version?
Yeah, when I played 2X. Tony Hawk is just such a weird series. Like, it came out, it was on PlayStation, it was on N64, PS2, the PS one version of Tony Hawk 2 comes out, is hailed as one of the greatest games of all time. It got Game Informer's first ever perfect 10.
Yeah.
That is a batshit insane sentence to say, I feel.
I mean, but it deserves it, though.
It got a perfect 10 before Metal Gear Solid 1, before Ocarina of Time. Keep in mind, these games had come out by this point.
Mm-hmm.
It got a perfect score over those games, over Majora's Mask. Mind blown. My mind is absolutely blown that this happened. But it is what it is. 3 and 4 are coming back, though. The announcement is coming on March 3rd, I believe.
March 4th.
March 4th. So
in Call of Duty, apparently.
Do what?
In Call of Duty, apparently.
God, it's just so stupid. There is a skate park level.
I know, that's where the big announcement sign is.
I also like the logo indicates that it's 3 and 4. The date that the countdown is ending, obviously.
The date 3-4.
Yeah. The HTML page literally says THPS 3-4 countdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very excited. This does give me hope more than ever that we will probably see one final remaster group, and that'll probably be Underground 2, and maybe the 360 version of American Wasteland, which is the only version worth playing.
I would say that those 3 are probably the ones you're going to get.
Those are the only
Thug 1 and 2, right?
Those are Thug 1 and 2 for sure. My only thing about Thug 2 is they have a lot more licenses for people that they have to get, because you had the entire crew of Jackass.
Yeah,
as part of it. Like Johnny Knoxville plays a not insignificant part in that game.
Yeah, but what's he doing? You know, I mean,
but no, I'm not even saying that. I'm saying the cost, like the licensing fees.
Yeah, but I mean, how much could it possibly be?
Also, Bam Margera has been a controversial figure, to say the absolute.
No, he's fine.
So I don't know how that one's going to go, if they're going to like that.
He's fine, Josh. He's fine. He's just misunderstood.
God, am I remembering? Is Johnny Knoxville in it? Am I remembering this correctly? I actually don't know if Johnny Knoxville's in this. I may have just like talked out of my ass about that one.
He's in one of them. I don't remember which one. You know what would be awesome, Josh, after these Tony Hawk ones come out? If they went back and did the Dave Mirra Pro BMX games. Although he's passed away, so
yeah, I don't feel like they would do it. Also, that's a completely different company.
Which one?
Dave Mirra was done by like 2K.
Then it's the other one,
Matt Hoffman.
Matt Hoffman Pro BMX.
Okay, so of the games that could be remastered, would you rather have Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX?
Yes.
Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder?
Pass.
Kelly Slater's Pro Surfer? Or Wakeboarding Unleashed with Sean Murray. That's
Sure.
apparently a game.
Sure, wakeboarding sounds cool. Remember the game on GameCube and PS2, Aggressive Inline?
I unfortunately do remember Aggressive Inline. Do you remember when they did Downhill Jam
Yeah.
for the Wii launch? I was so excited because I loved Tony Hawk still at the time. I had just played American Wasteland the year before.
Mm-hmm.
I got Downhill Jam, and my exact words were, "Oh no," when I started playing it.
Yeah, it's not great, man.
American Wasteland on the 360 in particular. This was when we've talked about this before, but there were for that like that first year or two of the 360 and especially the 360, but also like that first year the PS3 was out, you got two separate versions of games, and
Mm-hmm.
if you were playing it on the 360 or PS3, you were clearly getting the superior version.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. This is one of the most notable ones. Is American Wasteland. There's an entire campaign and like semi-open world structure to American Wasteland on the 360 that you did not get on PS2 or Xbox.
Yeah.
And this was never released on any other platform. It did not come to PS3 the next year. Nothing. It is only on the 360. It is a whole storyline with Tony Alva as part of it. It is ridiculous. It is the dumbest thing they've ever done, and it somehow worked. And then they just shit the bed. You got Project 8, Proving Ground, Downhill Jam, Motion, Vert, Ride, Shred. These are real games.
Those are the ones that
Skate
came with the
Jam.
real board. Those
And
last
then
three.
you had, I hate that I have to bring this up, but last generation, you had a game called Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which people were so hyped for. They thought it was going to be good.
I was.
It might actually be the actual worst game in the series.
Yeah.
It
is. It was so broken at launch.
The best score that I could find was Game Informer gave it a 6.5. Which is kind of wild. Matthew Cato reviewed that, and by the way, Matthew Cato used to always review the Tony Hawk game, so I'm like, oh, I feel like that's a nostalgia score because GameSpot gave it a 3, IGN gave it a 3.5, Official Xbox Magazine gave it a 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was extremely broken on Xbox.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. I just remember Tim Geddes being like beside himself with how bad it was. Many critics noted the graphics were inferior to games released on the PlayStation 2.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So, the Edge magazine called Pro Skater 5 an insult to its history, its licensed skaters, sponsors, modern hardware, and anybody who picks it up.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. Yeah, it's bad. It's so bad.
It was not great.
Did you enjoy the Secret Skaters being Lil Wayne, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Tyler, the Creator?
I mean, the Ninja Turtles, yes, but not to that extent. But it wasn't the cool Turtles. It was the ones that was in that weird, like, remember that Xbox Live Arcade game that Activision made on the Turtles that was based off the Nickelodeon cartoon, but it was like oddly realistic. Like they tried to go for this weird, realistic.
You know what series I would love to come back? We were just talking about like all these other games that Activision did, and I don't want a single one of those to come back. I want to be totally clear. Like, give me Thug 1 and 2, maybe throw in the 360 version of American Wasteland because I think it's a fascinating piece of video game history. But other than that, like, let's just let the franchise die unless you're going to make a new one and actually make it good, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Amped. Can we get Amped back?
Oh, geez, Amped.
So Amped 1 was a great launch title. Amped 2 was one of the first Xbox Sports Network games. And then they sold the license to 2K for a 360 launch title, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. Amped 3 is fantastic. Yeah. I love SSX, though, so, like, man, EA Sports, let's talk. Let's talk, guys. You know how much money you would make off bringing back SSX? A lot.
Yeah.
Like, I remember SSX 3 and the open world mountain that it took you like 30 minutes to go all the way down the mountain if you started at the peak and went straight to the bottom. Mm-hmm. That is still like a technical marvel for those consoles.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I don't know how that happened, but that Tricky, I liked the like semi like quasi reboot that they did. That was a fun one. Man, those were good games. That was back when they released one on the Wii. I think it was on the Wii at least. It was exclusive, and it had Mario, Luigi, and Peach as snowboarders slash skiers.
Yeah, it was something.
It was something. Bottom line, my 12-year-old self really wants you to bring back the good extreme sports games from back in the day. I'm getting Jet Grind Radio. I'm getting Crazy Taxi. Can I please get SSX or Amped? Just whoever has the licenses for those games, please.
Yeah.
I really do think that Thug 1 and 2, it's just it's absolutely, I wouldn't say it's a lock, but it is like 80% chance of happening.
Yeah. No, I would,
because we had heard that 3 and 4 were in development before Vicarious Visions got shut down.
Yeah.
And I don't know what dark sorcery they had to do to get these made, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I really, yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be
Can't
it's
wait.
going to be good. Good.
It's going to be good.
Going to be good. Good. The only thing that I did not like about the 1 and 2 combo remaster they did was no Spider-Man.
Yeah, I think that's something they got to get for 3 and 4, right? Because you had what? Darth Maul, Wolverine, Jango Fett, and there was one other character, I think.
I'm pulling up the list of skaters right now. Oh, the Wikipedia page does not have them for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4? You could unlock Jango Fett from Star Wars, Eddie, the mascot of Iron Maiden. That's fantastic. Mike Valley, who has been in a lot of the games since, and Daisy, a female skater visually based on and voiced by Jenna Jameson. I don't think Daisy is coming back.
She might. You don't know.
I don't think that Xbox wants to do something with a porn star.
Josh, you don't know.
I feel pretty confident in this one.
I don't know. They let people put swastikas on their Call of Duty helmets. So
that's true. Oh, so this is a good one. So Pro Skater 3 had Darth Maul, Doom Guy. Doom Guy was in there.
Yeah, but it's like old PC Doom Guy. It's not.
Yeah, but dude, give me Doom the Dark Ages Doom Guy. There's some promo for your next game.
Yeah.
You own the character, so Doom Guy is going to be in there. I
think you could put a lot of cool characters in this one.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
And Kelly Slater was in there too.
Yeah, to promote the surfing game, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of like some of the worst games that we've ever played, Pro Skater 3 on the N64 is genuinely the worst thing I've ever played in my entire life. It came out almost a full year after Pro Skater 3, and I was like, oh, I want to see what this is like.
Yeah, it was not great.
When I tell you how dog shit this was.
Yeah.
This is truly one of the worst experiences of my entire life. My Walmart had a copy of this that they would put out on the clearance table every so often for, I kid you not, from the time I was about 12 years old until after I graduated high school, it would appear. I finally got the money from a summer job and I went there to go buy it and it was gone. I don't know what happened to it to this day. I wanted to buy it just to have as like a weird piece of gaming history.
Yeah.
Because it was like a Blockbuster exclusive, I thought.
Well,
I'm very, very excited for this, though. This is exciting.
Yeah, I'm beyond excited for this. I think it's going to be awesome.
But now we have a lot of unexciting news. The rest of the pod is just unexciting news. Well, bummer news. Let's start with...
You gotta do that to me, Josh.
Let's start with Fable getting punted to 2026.
Yeah. Look, they have to get it right. And I think we talked about this, right, where like they have so much coming out that something was bound to get pushed, right? And So I don't know. I think they made the right decision. Regardless, I don't even know what kind of state the game is in, but um,
So they released a minute of pre-alpha footage after Craig Duncan made the statement it was getting delayed on the official Xbox podcast. This for pre-alpha, this looks really good.
yeah, looks
I don't even
amazing.
care. This looks really good. I'm content with letting this go. There's been some whispers through the grapevine that the game may be having some trouble with the overall engine because this is the Forza Tech engine. Um,
Yeah,
and that is built for racing games. We talk all the time about how your engine really dictates how a game is going to feel. The bonus of this, though, is this is a proprietary engine. This is an in-house engine. You're not
hmm
licensing it. You can kind of make whatever mods you want to it.
hmm
I do think that when you look at internal engines that Microsoft has, Forza Tech is probably the best outside of id Tech. In fact, I only think it's a probable thing. Like those are the only two worth using because fuck creation. And almost everything else is running on UE5 at this point.
yeah.
So, which for better or worse,
Jeez, every time I
I
hear it,
really do think like Fable getting delayed is. We had kind of wondered if it was going to make this year, just because the back half of the year in particular seems really loaded. You have so I mean, just like in the first half, you have something every month.
yeah,
You have
it's
something
so busy,
every
man.
month before you even consider if Towerborn makes it into early access on consoles in the first half, which I still think it does. I just don't know where. It's feeling more and more like that or Double Fine's next game are getting shadow dropped at the game showcase this summer. That
Yeah,
would be my guess, at least. I honestly, I had the thought that I felt like Towerborn maybe was getting held for the announcement of Switch 2, because I think that's going to do gangbusters if it's good on a portable device.
yeah,
But I mean, just in the first couple months this year, you have Avowed, you're now gonna have. We don't know if the Tony Hawk games they're probably not shadow dropping. Let's be totally honest. I think they're getting announced. The rumor was they were supposed to be out in the summer. We were hearing that rumor a couple weeks before the actual announcement happened, or a couple days before, I guess. So interested to see if that's going to be something that they just like drop at the Keeley show for Summer Game Fest, maybe. They're
yeah.
like, hey, it's out now. We've heard that the Oblivion remake is supposedly coming this summer. You've got Doom the Dark Ages, you've got South of Midnight, like all that just before you get to the end of summer.
hmm
And in the fall, you got Ninja Gaiden, you've got COD. The shadow of GTA looms over everything right now. And we've heard repeated rumors that Gears is this fall. With Fable moving out, I think Gears is getting likelier. That feels more and more likely. They've had so many years to work on this game right now.
hmm
And on top of that, Perfect Dark. The rumor still persists that Perfect Dark is slated for this holiday. So I do think that this means I still think regardless, you're getting a special like post showcase direct focused on Fable. It seems really silly to me not to make Fable the focus. They have clearly set that up as like this is like the game we want everyone to experience.
Yeah,
This is our flagship game. I although I could see them doing something for Perfect Dark or for Gears also. Those are big tent poles for them, and they all equally need those two to do good.
hmm
Those are maybe the three most important games for the remainder of this generation for them, and they're all going to hit probably in a 6 to 9 month span.
hmm
So you gotta nail those. You didn't nail Starfield. You
right.
get to nail those. So interested to see what this looks like. Again, I'm just anxious to see more of this. I think they've nailed the tone so far. Everything we've heard about this from everyone who has talked to people within Playground and within Xbox is thrilled with the state of it.
I mean, that's good.
They're finally at a point where they can delay games and it won't hurt them. At least not as much. I mean, like this year's stacked. Like if this had happened, this isn't a Starfield getting delayed out of 2022 situation anymore.
Yeah,
That was disastrous. This is beneficial. So same with like how Avowed got delayed. Like Avowed got moved to keep their slate strong and good. I think Avowed coming out in November may have taken some of the attention away from Indiana Jones.
yeah,
Not that they're on the same. I think Indiana Jones is a much better game, but I don't. I think they would have taken away from each other at that point. So there's also the persistent talk that Fable 2 is going to come to the PS5 within the first year. I don't think it's a day and date release, but this does give them some more time to like work with the PS5 hardware. That could be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I imagine the team that is bringing Forza Horizon 5 to the PS5 is probably going to work on the Fable port as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's a personal guess on my end. I don't know anything, obviously. I haven't heard anything. That got announced today to be coming at the end of April to PS5, and it's going to be Pro enhanced. So that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. That's this is what's going to be weird is like theoretically the best looking console version is going to be on the PlayStation.
Yep.
That's kind of strange, but I mean, cars can only start looking so good.
Yeah. And I mean they are wizards over there, man. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm still very excited. I think that there are so many good things coming down the pipeline for Team Xbox right now.
Yeah. Agreed.
Speaking of good things, I actually meant we had one more really good piece of news. The ID at Xbox showcase this week.
Yeah.
I was a huge fan of this show. I know that you were a little less enthusiastic about this. A lot of games that didn't really tickle your pickle.
It was like the games that they showed weren't bad at all.
Mm-hmm.
It just, I don't know. A lot of this stuff just isn't for me, which is fine. Not every game's for everybody, right? So
yeah, let's fly through some of these really fast. 33 Immortals, finally 33 Immortals is coming. Early access, Game Pass day one on March 18th. Very excited for this. I've been waiting for this for almost 2 years now. Balatro is on Game Pass right now. I have finally played Balatro, and guys, I get it. God, I played like 3 hours of it before realizing where my time had gone. I'm really glad I never put this on my phone or on my Switch or anything, because holy shit, I would never get anything done. Blueprints is launching straight into Game Pass on April 10th. This is a game that combines exploration, puzzles, map making, and card game systems. So interested to see how that one plays. That sounds like something that I'll play. I'll at least be dabbling in. Buckshot Roulette is coming to Game Pass. Gambling with your life is a literal concept in this, and it has captivated and horrified PC players. This is a skip for me, but I know several people who are excited for it. Descenders next. If you've ever played Descenders, then you kind of know what's happening here. Except this is snowboarding instead of biking, which honestly is more up my alley. I did like Descenders, but I'm way more excited for this. I will check this out. This is going straight into Game Pass. I hope it's better than Shredders. Shredders was awful.
You mean the that game that was supposed to be amped but not?
God, I was so upset about it. It looked like amped in all the promos. I'm so upset about it.
It reminded me of like when they announced Amped 3 for 360, and I was like, oh my God, it's finally happening. It's finally happening.
It did not. I got very upset. I was actually very happy I was going on vacation when that happened, so I didn't have to sit there and play it anymore. Echo Weaver, which is described as a Metroid Brainia.
Okay.
Draws from classic adventure platformers and the likes of Outer Wilds to create a time-looping world where knowledge is your greatest weapon. This is the one that, like, I think this looked cool, but it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
For sure, this falls into that category for me. I was like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm interested in it, and I'll probably still play it. It's coming to Game Pass. No date on this one. I think it's targeting this fall or early next year. Heralding, this doesn't really do anything for me. This is from the creator of Far Lone Sales. This doesn't really do too much for me, honestly. Just cool. If you're into it, cool. Hotel Barcelona does something for me, though. The new game from Suda and Swery.
Yeah, how does it make you feel, Josh?
Oh, this is a weird fucking game. And I am totally into it. I gotta play it. This is the just weirdest shit I have ever seen. I'm down. I expect nothing less from these two, but I'm very ready to play this game. This looks very fun to me. Jump Ship is a game coming to Game Preview. Developed by alumni from Hazelight and Mojang. This 1-to-4-player FPS puts you in charge of a spaceship and asks you to take on foot combat sections and transitions between the two. So I'm interested in this. I've been kind of keeping an eye on Jump Ship for a little while, but I want to play that. Liza P DLC got a new story trailer. Very, very excited for those of you who want to play that. Don't Nod, of course, Don't Nod is showing up at an Xbox show. This happens pretty much every time they have a game, I feel. I don't remember the last time Don't Nod revealed a game and it wasn't at a game showcase.
Right.
This is an action RPG, The Lonesome Guild. This instantly shot up my list of games that I'm interested in. Like, I gotta play this. This looks like something that I'm very into. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Tunic in terms of like the character design.
Yeah.
And I loved Tunic was straight up. Tunic was arguably the game of the year when it came out. So, Moonlighter 2. I know a lot of people really liked Moonlight. So,
this game was the one that looked like the most interesting, but it's a roguelike, man. Can't do the roguelikes, man.
Sure you can. It's on Xbox Game Pass. It's coming this year to Game Pass. Outbound might be the thing I'm most excited about out of this. Open world exploration game with an empty camper van, and you turn it into the home of your dreams, alone or with your own friends. Scavenge materials, craft, and build in and on top of your vehicle with module parts. I'm excited. I like cozy little games like this. Unpacking was one of my favorite games a couple years ago when it came out. It was like a quick little 2-hour play. Yep. And this feels kind of cozy in a similar way.
That game was great.
Unpacking is so also very quietly one of the most emotional games that I think I've played in a long time.
Yeah, it tells a great story without ever saying a word.
Yep, it tells a very good story. Very good story. New game from the creators of Patapon. Ratatan is a rhythm strategy roguelike. Interested in this. I probably won't play this very much, but I don't know if I'll even pick this up, but I am at least intrigued by the concept. Revenge of the Savage Planet. I did play Journey to the Savage Planet. I have some friends who got absolutely obsessed with it. They're going to be very, very excited to play this. Coming to Game Pass on May 8th.
Oh, May 8th.
We still got a couple more. We still have a couple more here. This was a packed showcase.
Yeah, it was full. It was,
Rock Beasts. I'm very excited for Rock Beasts. You get to play a rock and roll band manager when you are the manager of a legendary 90s band of Animals. Lead them on a roller coaster ride to stardom in the age of MTV rock anthems and bad haircuts. Story-driven role-playing management game. I'm very excited. This is the most Josh game that I've ever seen. I genuinely other than the Big Con might have been the last time I saw an indie that was yeah, this is targeted exactly for me. Tanuki Pawns Summer. This is something that my girlfriend is going to fall in love with. Courier Life Sim, where you play as a raccoon delivering mail. And you get to relax in town from baseball to sumo practice to drumming. And it's coming to Game Pass in late 2025. This does look really silly, but I'm here for it. I really enjoyed the Little Kitty Big City last year, and this kind of feels like that, but more.
Yeah.
Tempopo is coming. This is from the team behind Unpacking, so this is an instant play as far as I'm concerned. A puzzle adventure game bursting with music. Playing as Hannah, you enter a fantasy world in which you need to conduct the titular Tempopo creatures to solve puzzles scattered across the world's sky islands before heading home and cultivating your garden. Very excited. This launches on April 17th, straight into Game Pass. Jesus, we still have 4 more games. The other highlight for me, Bithell Games. Bithell Games is great.
I knew this was coming from you.
Tron Catalyst, baby. I'm very, very, very happy they're doing another Tron game. Yeah, this looks.
Was the last one good?
Yes, it was good. If it was good, if you know what to expect from Bithell.
Yeah,
that's the thing. I was not one of those who hopped on the fanboy train of Thomas Was Alone. But I really like the last Tron game.
What was the last one? Was what? Identity? Is that what it was called?
I believe so.
Not
I
the.
think it was no. Yes, yes. It was Tron Identity.
Okay.
Tron Identity was also. I don't know why I kept thinking it was Evolution, and then I remembered Evolution was the terrible one.
Yeah.
So, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon, a side-scrolling bike riding party game, is Game Pass, and it is 8-player. It is an 8-player mode. So this could be really fun or really dumb. Waxheads, another game that I really feel is targeted towards me. A slice of life narrative game set around running a struggling record shop. It's hand-drawn style. Chat with quirky customers with unique tastes, explore handcrafted records, fall in love with bands and their drama, or slack off with your colleagues. This comes out next summer. This felt like it was shown off way too early.
Yeah, that seems really
But
early.
it looks really fun. I'm into so many of the games that were shown. This felt like a show that was like for me in so many ways. With Rock Beast, with Tron Identity, with Lonesome Gill, like those four alone would have made me happy at any show.
Yeah.
But this was a really strong indie show. And the final game, Voodoo, cozy story driven game with 3D puzzles. You build the story by literally building the world, pulling 3D objects from your menus to fill a scene, revealing more of the tale of the main characters, Foxy and Ben. This might be a really fun one to play with like kids or like with the whole family. I think it looks really unique. I don't know if this is something that I necessarily want to play, but it is a very unique looking game.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. It's kind of like you're putting together like the Believe trailer from Halo. That's what this reminds me of in terms of like the camera angles and the placement of everything. So yeah, really strong showcase. Microsoft stepped on the rake before this showcase instead of after, though, for once. Because man, we got we got to get into it, Corey. We got to talk about it. Xbox and AI. This is unfortunately something that we got to talk about. This is what Ninja Theory has been working on. I am not a fan of this. So this is coming from Tom Warren at The Verge. I think he had probably the best write-up. What the fuck fell on my foot down there? All right. Microsoft Research has created Muse, the first of its kind generative AI model that can generate a game environment based on visuals or players' controller actions. It understands the 3D game world and game physics and can react to how players interact with a game.
Yep.
Looking at this gameplay example that was generated from Muse, I am not a fan. I'm never going to be a fan of anything generated with AI. I want to be really clear. There is a difference between the AI that we are ragging on and the AI that is actually good inside of games. I want to make that distinction really clear because AI can be used to train enemy behaviors. Things like the Nemesis system, I would consider a form of AI. This is not that.
Mm-hmm.
This model was trained off of large amounts of human gameplay data from the Xbox game Bleeding Edge. I did not know that they had large gameplay samples from Bleeding Edge. And this was a collaboration between Microsoft Research and Ninja Theory. Said head of Microsoft Research, Katja Hoffman, this partnership allowed us to closely collaborate with the game studio to understand what needs to be in place and how we can responsibly unlock access to a large amount of gameplay data.
Large amounts of gameplay data. Did anybody play Bleeding Edge for them to get that?
Nope. This allowed Muse to access the equivalent of 7 years of human gameplay, resulting in the model being trained on 1 billion image action pairs in total. This is early work. The model is limited to generating gameplay visuals at a resolution of just 300 by 180. That's up from 128 by 128 of Microsoft's earlier work on generative AI. So this is an interesting paragraph from him. I'm basically reading the article in full because I think we need to hear it in full. This could be used for the early iteration stages of a game, but Microsoft is stressing this is not designed to generate an entire game and replace creators because the current Muse model can generate gameplay and allow players to load visual elements in the game to propel the model.
Oh, man. Not yet.
The only part of any of this that I was like, okay, I don't entirely hate this. Microsoft is exploring how Muse could help improve classic games and bring them modern hardware. You can imagine a world where, from gameplay data and video, that a model could learn old games and really make them portable to any platform where these models could run, says CEO Phil Spencer. We've talked about game preservation as an activity for us, and these models and their ability to learn completely how a game plays without the necessity of the original engine running on the original hardware opens up a ton of opportunity. I do agree with that. I do think there are a lot of opportunities there. The problem is when you start taking that data and you start making games based off of that data, which is almost certainly going to happen. I do not trust the world's fourth most profitable company to be responsible with this information. I simply don't. I'm a huge longtime Xbox fan. If they start using AI like this in games, I'm out. I'm putting my foot down. I'm putting my flag in the sand. I'm done. And I do know that this is eventually going to spread to other studios. It may take 10 to 15 years, but it's going to happen. It's going to go to every single studio. This may be where I start bowing out, because I'm not interested in seeing AI and computers replace creators and artists. And that is almost certainly what will eventually happen when people like Phil, who actually care about art, are no longer there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
So,
mean, what we were talking about on Boss Rush the other day, Josh, where we were talking about the AI stuff, and the ideal situation in my mind would be, I compared it to when movies and, kids cartoons and then, now everything moved to computer generated animation, right?
yep. Yep.
Okay, well, we traded the pencils and stuff in for a mouse. The tools changed, but it still needs to be there, right? Like the
Right.
human touch still needs to be there. And it just allowed creative people who might not have the skill set to do something within the things that they love, right? And I'm talking from the animation perspective, right? And I think how we are talking about AI today, because AI has been around for like forever, right?
Yes.
I mean, we talked about Speed Tree and all these other things. AI is a tool that, if used properly, can definitely speed up getting these games out for us, because it's a new tool that can assist the teams, right? And theoretically, like a game that would normally take 5 or 6 years, maybe this team can get it out in 3 years and double, like keep the same number of people. It might actually, theoretically could eliminate layoffs and actually make studios more money because they're getting games out like they used to. But especially at the corporate level, we know that that's not happening. Like at the publicly traded level, at the massive level, they want to eliminate as much, workforce as they can to save to make their bank accounts bigger, right? So uh, that's the scary part. But
Yeah.
I think AI could actually be really helpful for companies to make more money without actually eliminating anybody.
Yeah, I want to get back to something that Tom Warren was saying here at the end of the article. There's a quote from Microsoft, and then there's something that he says that I really want to talk about that kind of hammers home like our concerns surrounding AI and like how much are they going to be forced to use this. While Microsoft is still in the exploration phase of AI in gaming, it's also making clear it's up to individual studios at Xbox how they want to use AI in games. Kardar says, as part of this, have empowered creative leaders at Xbox to decide on the use of generative AI. There is not going to be a single solution for every game or project, and the approach will be based on the creative vision and goals of each team. There's already a lot of fear from game developers and studios about how AI can affect the creative process of making games, particularly at a time where barely a week goes by without layoffs in the gaming industry. A recent report revealed that 1 in 10 game devs lost their jobs in 2024 alone. We do not intend to use this technology for the creation of content, says Ninja Theory studio head Dom Matthews. I think the interesting aspect for us that's exciting is how we use technology like this to make the process of making games quicker and easier for our talented team so they can really focus on the thing that's really special about games, the human creativity. I don't know how you do that without replacing art. I just don't know. And maybe I'm not thinking big enough. I don't know how, like, that does it, but there are types of AI like machine learning that I think that can help on the tech end.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, I think a lot of times machine learning gets lumped in with AI
yeah.
unfairly. And, especially with like, yes, OpenAI is doing a lot of weird stuff with AI, but they are
Hmm.
also doing a lot
Hmm.
of machine learning that just gets lumped in with their AI initiatives. And, I do think machine learning gets lumped in unfairly a lot of the times. And a lot of people don't even know what it is because it gets lumped in, right? So,
Right. There's
um,
enough education about this out there because it's like a lot of this is such a new frontier that they like the people that are making it don't want to take the time to explain it because then maybe other people will like one up them
mhm,
or something. It's kind of like how electric cars were really like closely guarded for so long,
mhm. I
and
mean, they
then like
still
we
are
just saw
to
an
an extent.
explosion like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Suddenly
Yeah.
Tesla wasn't the only game in town anymore. That it kind
What?
of feels like that with like OpenAI.
Yeah. Um, OpenAI is so weird too because there's two parts of it, right?
Hmm.
There's the evil corporation part that's making, like Skynet essentially.
But yeah,
Uh but then there's like the open source AI where like the organization that is like, you know, managing how it's used and when it's used and all that kind of stuff, right? So I don't know, man. AI just is it's so
it is such a slippery slope to say the absolute least.
yeah, I mean slippery slope is a nice way to say that, right? It's just- I don't it's I just know that everything like it's the old adage of everything starts with good intentions and then becomes like the worst thing ever. I mean, it yeah. I mean like the things like before Elon Musk went crazy, right? Like people were like championing Tesla and SpaceX because they were doing things that obviously NASA wasn't doing and right? And now it's like, oh, well, now he's using that to, take over the FAA and uh privatizing airspace and the
Yeah.
TSA and all this other stuff and all the other weird stuff he's going on in the government that I don't really feel like talking about right now because one, I'm not smart enough to even talk
Hmm.
about it, but B, I just help me, Josh, get me out of here.
There are there's some good comments here that I actually wanted to bring up that are kind of making me see things a little bit differently from like a developer perspective. Um, well, one of the commenters says most of the use cases presented so far are not for players themselves, but for developers to prototype or help them build features more easily. As a developer, I would love to be able to test a quick prototype of a feature, then discuss it with the team controller in hand so we can plan the way to build it proper in our engine. Um, I I am okay with that. And there's another one that points out a little bit further down that AI is already being used at Activision to help with the rigging and placement of character models.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of okay with that. Like, I don't know how intrusive that ultimately is, but I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with it
Mm-hmm.
is where it's generating art. Like, there were AI generated emblems and things like that that were showing up in the game, and you're like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, you can't
I
even properly make that shit. Okay.
yeah, I think enemy placement and rigging is like you design a lot of developers and artists create this amazing,
Hmm.
in this world. And sometimes the hardest part is knowing where enemy placement is because, maybe this terrain doesn't make sense for this type of enemy or this, you know, whatever. And so like using that AI to help, hey, optimize where enemy placement should go seems like a good thing, right?
Hmm.
Enhance the experience for the player, right? Um, the scary part is when you actually tell the AI to, hey, optimize a level and then create the enemies and then place them and then create the guns that they use.
Right. That is a very real concern, and there is going to be somebody that abuses that first.
Oh, sure there is.
And it's a question of who is it that does it, and how swiftly do consumers either reject it or embrace it. So that's a real point of concern, I think. Also, not to mention the strain that all this computing takes on the environment and whatnot is also a very real concern.
Yeah.
But regardless, we're going to move on a little bit. Something that I failed to note at the beginning of the show about the Tony Hawk remaster is Iron Galaxy is helping develop that.
Oh,
and they did the PC port of 1 and 2.
Yeah. Also, they need it, right? They need.
Yeah, they really need that. So, yes, we don't have Vicarious Visions anymore, but if Iron Galaxy is helping handle this, that's pretty good because they worked on the PC port already of the other one.
Yeah,
I've got hopes, and supposedly Vicarious Visions was in production on it before they got shut down.
Yeah, and I wonder if that team is actually helping now too, because I wonder how much that Vicarious Visions has kind of seen new light since Microsoft purchased them. I don't know. I mean, Activision.
So everything that I know about Vicarious Visions is they've been turned into Blizzard Albany.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and that studio directly makes the seasonal content for Diablo.
Oh, okay.
As far as
they did the Diablo 2 remaster.
Yes, right? They also did the Diablo 2 remaster, which was very good. Mm-hmm. So I'm not ready to like scream foul just yet, but like if you could even get like a small part of that studio, maybe not working on Call of Duty or, well, they're not working Call of Duty anymore, but not working on like seasonal content, and like let them kind of like maybe do remasters, like, oh, well, you did these, hey, you guys maybe want to like think about doing we've gotten authorization to do a remaster of Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Would you guys be interested in working on that? I think that would be a great team to do it. A team that's been working on Diablo going to work on that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So, but I don't know, and I don't know what the long-term plan is for Diablo. The latest rumor is that the next Diablo expansion won't come out until Q1 of next year. So who knows? And that's going to be the final expansion for 4. They want to shorten the length between 4 and 5. Who the fuck knows?
Plus, it's about time for Rod Ferguson to ship 3 more games, right?
Oh my god,
he needs to move on. He hasn't shipped a game in like 18 months.
Dude, Rod Ferguson is that dude is
the finisher,
just working his ass off these days.
Yeah, the finisher.
He is indeed the finisher. He's gotten so many good games across the finish line by coming in to save them, essentially.
Yeah.
All right. We got 2 big closures of sorts to talk about. One is actually a closure. One is consolidations, which might as well be the same thing. This comes to us from Bloomberg and from GameFile. NetEase is slashing games and employees across the world. Basically, anything that is not based in China is getting slashed at this point. Marvel Rivals almost did not make it out the door, we found out.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
Which is crazy because that game is so successful.
It was because of the Disney licensing fees. Like we saw in the Insomniac leaks how expensive Spider-Man was. Now imagine having access to the entire fucking roster of characters.
Yeah, jeez.
So, all right. We are going to... I'm going to read a couple of quotes from Jason Schreier's article. Before Marvel Rivals was released, there were discussions about it being canceled. One of the people said, the head of NetEase objected to paying Disney for these popular characters like Wolverine and Spider-Man, and at one point asked his artists to swap in their own hero designs. That ultimately aborted effort, cost the company millions of dollars, and was emblematic of the abrupt changes ushered in by the CEO. A NetEase spokesperson denied this account, saying the company has enjoyed a close partnership with Marvel since 2017. Japan, this is one that's really relevant for a lot of people. Japan has been one of NetEase's key outposts, with celebrated creator Toshihiro Nagoshi responsible for the Yakuza franchise, a major hire to bolster the creative ranks. The decision to close Uka was made in the midst of developing the studio's first big game, Visions of Mana, for Square Enix. Ding overruled executives.
Okay. Yeah.
who had greenlit the project as he decided there's no need for a team working for outside publishers, people said. Outside Oka,
Okay.
Japanese creators, Nagoshi among them, have been given time to wrap up ongoing projects. The message from headquarters in Hangzhou has been there will be no additional funding or time. There's no plan to spend on marketing or promoting games currently in production in China. That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane to me. There's
That
even we got more. There's one
they're
more quote.
well, NetEase is doing the Destiny game too, right?
Yes, but that's being developed in China. That's a bit different.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
so they're canceling anything that's not being explicitly developed in China or that is too expensive
Okay.
license wise. So, and this was an investment they made like how many, years ago at this point.
Right.
So, there's even though some of NetEase's Western studios engaged in discussions with potential new game publishers, Jackalope Games, NetEase's first studio in the US, has been working on what's known in the industry as a MMO role-playing game tied to Warhammer. At a recent trade show, it received a positive reception from potential partners. So I don't think that they're cutting games that they think are going to be successful, but rather they just don't want to invest anymore, which is insane. Where does Nagoshi go after this? If where does he go? Because he's already left Sega and RGG.
I mean,
I can't imagine him going right back to Sega.
I would have said that about Mikami in Capcom though too. So
I'm gonna throw a wild idea
Anita.
out there. I think there's three possibilities here, maybe four.
Mm-hmm.
One is that he keeps his studio, but they find a buyer. Maybe Nacon,
Sega.
who just bought Tango GameWorks.
Yeah, I saw that floating around, but I also saw something that said they don't want to be. One of their management people said that they don't want to be Embracer. They can't save every studio. It's just not financially possible.
I mean, that's totally fair. I think that two other possibilities would be Nintendo. He would give Nintendo a more mature studio under their umbrella, and he'd have certainly creative freedom. The problem would be, would a more mature game sell if it's exclusively on the Switch? And I think that's always going to be the question. We haven't been able to answer that because Eternal Darkness 2 never got made. Sorry, I'm still upset about that. I think like the most mature thing that you've gotten that was an exclusive on the Switch was either the new Famicom Detective Club or like Astral Chain.
Yeah, Astral Chain, and then I mean,
like outside of Smiling Man, what's the last rated M game that Nintendo released?
I mean, the only ones I can think of are Bayonetta, but those are technically Sega games.
Yeah. So I think Sony might be the one here.
Devil's Third on the Wii U.
I think Sony might be the play here. Sony would see an opportunity to get an absolutely legendary creator in their ranks.
Yeah.
I could see that happening. I mean, and again, like Sega's not out of the question. Go back, but tell them you don't want to be a part of RGG. You want your own studio set up either under the RGG umbrella or under the Atlas umbrella or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just want to, I mean, even just having your own like little studio underneath this whole overall Sega banner wouldn't be horrible.
Yeah.
And Sega knows like he brings in money for them in Asia.
Yeah.
So like, and the Yakuza games have finally gotten popular in the States. They're considered must plays now. Like his next game is going to have all eyes on it. I think there's going to be people will rush to fund that game versus like a portable Destiny.
Right.
They will rush to do that because that's a low investment, high reward move for you if you do that. I wouldn't even rule out the possibility of like Microsoft trying to step in and like publish the game. Like let you stay independent. We'll just publish it.
Right.
Do a deal like you did with Team Ninja. Like that is not outside the realm of possibility to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually like it may be more theoretically possible.
Yeah.
Because they've already shown they're willing to throw it on everything, so why not take the money? take the
Right.
money and agree, oh, well, if it's on Xbox, it's going to go to Game Pass. Whatever. The sales will be made up everywhere else.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
But NetEase is planning to divest itself of the majority of its overseas teams, leading to potential closure of more than a dozen game studios. This is from Steven Totillo over at GameFile. I wanted to read the full list of studios that they have currently under them. Quantic Dream, Grasshopper, Negoshi, Pincool, GP Track 50, Studio Flare, Jackalyptic, which we just talked about, Anchor Point, T-0, Rebel Wolves, Skybox Labs, which is a big Microsoft support studio. They are shopping around its non-Chinese studios, many of the very same ones that announced over the last 3 years. Two people familiar with the company's efforts tell GameFile. Neither individual is authorized to speak about NetEase's plans publicly. One source says they plan to divest. We already did the divesting, leading to potential closure of more than a dozen studios if they cannot secure new post-NetEase funding. A spokesperson for the company said all studios and projects are in constant review and evaluation, and NetEase will determine changes needed to be made throughout that process. In a season of hurt for much of the game industry, a further NetEase pullback is likely to deliver pain around the globe.
Jeez.
So Quantic Dream, supposedly their game is safe, from what I've heard. The Star Wars game is safe. Star Wars Eclipse is supposedly safe, unfortunately for all of us. And I don't say that sarcastically, like, unfortunately for all of us, that Quantic Dream's Star Wars game that's going to make us forget about space racism is still alive and well. God, that is, of all of these, that's the one that I feel like somebody would step in to save.
Yeah, I mean, even if Disney came in and did it themselves.
But I think that the deal would have to be, if we come in to save Quantic Dream, David Cage has to go. I think any potential deal would have to be that. David Cage is simply too problematic. That he's the reason why Sony hasn't made a game with them in forever. They made like 4 Sony exclusives.
Yeah, I mean, I know that, but also I feel like if he's not gone by now, he's not leaving. He's going down with the ship.
He probably is going to go down with the ship. So, but I wonder if Eclipse ever will make it out. Quantic Dream, though, I could see, like, I think Sony would want to step in for that mocap team, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Maybe I really hate to throw out the idea of Microsoft spending any more money on studios, but like Quantic Dream would be one they technically could like fold in with Ninja Theory. Not that I really love that idea, but that is one of the better like mocap studios out there. I think that would be the appealing part of purchasing a studio like Quantic Dream, I think. We just talked about Negoshi. We talked about Jackalyptic. Skybox Labs, if they really are like that, I'm trying to remember what all they've exactly worked on for Microsoft.
I feel like they've done a lot of like support, like asset support.
They have. So specifically, games that they have worked on: Halo 5, Halo 5 Forge, the Xbox One X enhancements for Halo 5, Halo Infinite. They have done a lot of the Minecraft ports and updates. They have been a support studio on Destiny for Season of the Deep, Season of Defiance, Lightfall, and The Final Shape. They have done all of the Age of Empires ports, it looks like, out of the last couple of years. And Project Spark, our old friend Project Spark.
Oh, geez.
Yes, that is literally almost their entire portfolio is Xbox support. Oh, and they're a support studio on 76. So their web page says the studio is currently co-developing updates for Halo Infinite, projects in the Minecraft universe, supporting the team at Bungie on Destiny 2, and supporting development of Fallout 76. Microsoft, I think, would step in to save Skybox.
Yeah.
If only to keep those assets in-house as a support studio, kind of like how Beanox is for Activision.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? It's not Destructoid. That's a gaming outlet. Oh man, I'm really trying to remember, and I feel really dumb that I can't remember it now.
Are you talking about?
Demonware is what I'm thinking of. Demonware, High Moon filled this role for a long time. Solid State has filled this role. I could see Microsoft stepping in and being like, "Hey, they simply help out with too much."
Mm-hmm.
And they're right there in Vancouver, so they're right across the border. I could see Micro. Also, they're right there where the coalition is, so
Yeah.
I could see them stepping in with Skybox and being like, "Yeah, we'll absorb Skybox. Like, we'll do it. We'll buy them off you. They do enough for us." The question would be, would they continue co-developing Destiny? And the answer is probably not. So,
I mean, they could.
they could. I just don't know if Microsoft would. I don't know what the line in the sand is at this point.
I feel like the
I
line
think
in the sand would be
actively
something
developing another platform's not exclusives but owned game might be a bridge too far.
Not if they're getting paid for it.
I mean, you're not wrong. Satyo would sign that so fast it's not even funny.
Dude, they're literally launching Forza in like 6 weeks.
Right, but I'm saying that like Destiny is a franchise owned by Sony. I don't know I don't know how Phil Spencer would feel about this. Let me put it that way. I think that would even make Phil like throw up in his mouth a little.
Yeah. Well, again, to be fair, I don't think any of this is Phil's decision.
I think we are far beyond this being any of Phil's decision, unfortunately.
Yep.
But yeah, they own a lot of shit. Yep. They own a lot of shit. I'm sitting here looking at some of these. Rebel Wolves is another one. They did Blood of Dawnwalker, which got announced earlier this year in January. It literally just got announced. And that studio is now in trouble. It's being published by Bandai Namco. So, yeah. A lot of these other... Liquid Swords is another one. I didn't realize they own Liquid Swords.
Yeah. I mean... It's kind of crazy, like when you look at the lists of these things of like how many things people own.
It's just wild to me. I don't know why I thought that Liquid Swords was owned by somebody else. And I don't think that they've actually made anything yet. They're part of the former Avalanche team.
Like the Harry Potter team? Or
no, the Just Cause team.
Just Cause team.
Yeah, other Avalanche.
Other Avalanche.
Other Avalanche. I don't think they've actually announced a game yet either, which is kind of insane. They just have a bunch of like fucking press releases, basically.
Of course they do.
They have like 4 pages of press releases, and that's like it. NetEase just invested in them a little over 2 years ago. So, yeah, I don't know what else you do. They own a lot of stuff that is not in China itself.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens, but that would be to just abruptly close those studios would be borderline lunacy.
Yeah.
Also, man, it cannot be underscored how many hundreds, if not thousands, of jobs will be lost if that happens. I don't think NetEase particularly cares. Their CEO does not seem to give a fuck.
Yeah, no.
This is the least bothered CEO I've seen in so long.
Since Bobby Kotick.
Oh, dude, I actually think Bobby Kotick may have cared more than this dude.
Oh, I wouldn't get too carried away with that one, John.
I'm dead ass. I think Bobby Kotick may have cared like borderline a little bit more.
Oh boy.
And I mean, on top of all this, they already closed the Seattle division of NetEase, which was a 10-person team supporting on Marvel Rivals, and they just laid those people off. That game just made you like $1 billion, and you laid them off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
For the record, Marvel Rivals is believed to have made in excess of 2 to 3 billion already.
That's a lot.
But we got to lay 10 people off.
Yeah, of course.
The numbers must go up. The yachts must increase. Essentially.
They
While we're all upset,
their Scrooge McDuck vault is not big enough, Josh.
Oh my god. Well, meanwhile, I'd like to be able to, afford rent and eggs. Let's. We got one more. We got one more here.
I hate this.
This is a big one. WB Games is closing Monolith, Player First Games, and WB San Diego, and the Wonder Woman game is canceled immediately. You cannot convince me it would not be cheaper to just release the Wonder Woman game rather than scrapping it entirely. You cannot convince me it would not be cheaper to just finish that game.
Man.
You absolutely cannot convince me because of all the money that you've already sunk into it.
This is so crazy.
This is insane. This is absolutely batshit to me. They're upset that Multiverses basically isn't Smash Brothers 2.0. They tried to make Wonder Woman into a live service game, and I'm going to be upfront. I don't even know what WB San Diego has supported on.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm going to be really real. I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah.
This is David Zaslav has to be like maybe the worst CEO of a media company in the world, with NetEase as CEO being an extremely close second. Like extremely close second.
Yeah. It's
Oh, by the way, WB San Diego was founded in 2019.
Shocking.
Listen to this shit. Player First Games, founded in 2019, acquired July 2024, now being shut down. They bought the studio just to close them.
Yeah, I know.
That, I really feel like somebody is going to step in for Player First and Monolith.
Yeah,
I really hate being that fucking guy, but I feel like somebody is stepping in for Monolith.
Yeah. I think that studio has done, I mean, Shadow
That studio has so much history. Like if you could somehow negotiate a deal that like came with the patent to the Nemesis system and like the rights to Fear and Condemned.
Right.
Because you're not going to get they're not going to give you Lord of the Rings. That's a WB property.
Right.
So that they don't even plan to use, by the way.
Shocking.
Well, actually, it's not a WB property. The Tolkien estate can license that out. And I'm assuming their license has long since expired. Because in the press release, they said they want to focus on DC, Game of Thrones, Mortal Kombat, and I think Batman were like the 4 things they said. Harry Potter. I just like this. Who steps in like for PlayStation All Stars 2 ? Like
maybe they'll finally
Bandai Namco, maybe.
Well, Bandai Namco's in financial trouble too. So
Bandai Namco's been in financial trouble since I was like 3. It's okay,
dude. They literally gave the the IP of Dark Souls back to From Software.
That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane to me.
And sold like half the rights of Elden Ring back to them. So
Jesus Christ.
It
should be noted Bandai Namco is more than just like a video game company. Like their holdings elsewhere are fantastic. But
shocking, their video game business is failing. Shocking.
Well, also the problem with their video game business is they've made most of their games have been anime adaptations for so long, and they're just publishing them. They're just licensing them out. Like, dude, or excuse me, they're publishing them. Like, imagine how much money you would save your entire company by licensing out Dragon Ball and Demon Slayer and My Hero and Bleach and all this and that. Like, you would make so much money. If you weren't trying to just hoard it all yourself for whatever reason.
You would think so.
You would think so. You would also get like way higher quality games.
You would think so.
It's funny. They struck gold with Dark Souls unintentionally, and they've just like had to give the rights back because it's such a cultural phenomenon at this point. It's wild to me. That's absolutely just batshit. Meanwhile, like their internal teams like don't even really make games that much. They just help on games. They have some that they make internally, but like I mean, those are again like usually your anime games. So I don't know. I have no idea why on earth of all the studios you would go close Monolith and Player First. I have just no idea why.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would
Monolith in
you?
particular really hurts.
Yeah, I just, man, I
This leaves WB Games as Avalanche Software, NetherRealm, Rocksteady, Traveler's Tales, and
God,
WB
Travelers Tales.
Montreal.
Yeah,
That's what you have. And Traveler's Tales, we heard, was kind of like on its last leg there for a little while because of controversies at the studio.
yeah. Plus, like they don't have the Lego license anymore. Lego is
So,
shopping that around.
I actually, so Jason Schreier, I didn't think they did either. Jason Schreier said on Kind of Funny the other day when he was on there with them, it was either yesterday or today, said that he expects a new Lego game from Traveler's Tales in the next like 18 to 24 months.
Right, but they don't have it exclusively.
Oh, yeah, no, not exclusively. Not exclusively at all.
Because that 2K made that weird racing game, right? That weird
2K made the weird racing game, and Sony made the Horizon one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a weird. Sony makes a Lego game on Switch. What a dumb, weird sentence.
What a dumb, weird sentence
Oh,
indeed.
and
I
in
don't
6 months we'll
understand. I
be
mean,
playing Halo on PlayStation.
this is another studio that like they haven't made anything since 2022.
Yeah.
You know? So just fucking wild. There is just so much crunch that happened, harassment, etc. at that studio. So I don't know what goes on with Traveler's Tales going forward. I don't know what you do with I really just and I hate to keep being that guy. I know that at some point studios just have to close down. I just can't imagine a studio with so much storied history in Monolith just going away like that. And then I mean Player First to be, such a small upstart, get bought by WB. They're like, oh my God, we made it, we're doing it. And then they get closed down 7 months later.
Mm-hmm.
That is soul crushing. Like, those are the kind of employees that when that kind of studio closes down, they're just going to leave games forever. Because fuck that. I would.
Right.
I would. I don't know what I'd go do, but I would leave games forever. And like, yeah, Multiversus wasn't like some amazing fighter, and a lot of that was like due to the forced corporate synergy,
Right.
right? But that game could have been something really good. I heard a lot of people say that they really liked it in the beta, and then they took it down. They took it down for like
And they
8
rebuilt
months.
it from the ground up in Unreal.
And it that killed any and all momentum. I heard from a lot of people that it never played the same again.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you had a platform fighter that was maybe the only thing that eventually could have tried to be in the conversation with Smash Brothers. I'm not saying it would have, do not misconstrue what I'm saying, but so many other games have tried to be like Smash Brothers before and be like a party fighter. This
Right.
maybe could have been the only one that would have been able to do it, and it had the licenses to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah.
just so fucking goofy.
Yeah.
So I feel particularly bad for them and for I don't know what WB San Diego was working on. I feel bad for them too. Founded in 2019 and then closed down. Like just insane
Yeah.
things.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know what to do anymore about this stuff, man. It's
yeah.
it's anger inducing, to be honest.
I mean, anger inducing is being nice about it, I think.
Yeah. I just don't understand why.
I don't either.
So Oh boy. Somebody save people.
Somebody save people. That's maybe the best note we could end on.
uh,
Oh boy. Are you playing anything fun, Corey?
uh, I mean, I'm finishing up Fire Emblem Engage, and I've been catching up on the Destiny stuff, but nothing to write home about. I downloaded Avowed today before I hopped on, actually, to try it out so we can talk about it. But other than that, I haven't really been playing much. I've been rebuilding the Boss Rush website, Josh, because
Oh
it broke.
God. I was there when it was breaking. Yes.
Yeah, it was quite the task, to say the least. Are you playing anything, Josh, besides the first few hours of Avowed, or are you just
I'm playing Avowed. I've been I took a little bit of a break from Marvel Rivals, getting back into Marvel Rivals. There's a fun new event that's up with the release of Human Torch and the Thing. Both great characters to play as in that game, by the way.
nice?
Really enjoy both of them. Other than that, I'm kind of deciding what other. Well, I'm playing a lot of Balatro. I've been playing a lot of Balatro this week. I've gotten fully hooked. It has struck. The addiction has struck. I understand. I finally
Addiction has
understand.
struck.
This is one of those that I feel like as long as I don't cave and start playing it on my phone, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That's when I get to a dangerous place. If I traveled more, this game would be a huge problem in my life. That's what I've heard from a lot of friends. They were playing it on their Steam Decks or on their Switches and stuff going to TwitchCon last year. And like our friend Ray Apollo, when he travels for work stuff, he takes either the Switch or his Steam Deck with him. He's usually playing that. That's his game of choice. I will say I'm really looking forward. Monster Hunter Wilds comes out this weekend. I'm still debating if I'm going to buy it or not. I missed both of the betas just because of gestures, wildly life things. Um, so I'm debating if I'm going to jump in there. This might be where I pick up another JRPG. I've had Shin Megami Tensei 5 sitting on my shelf since it came out. Haven't started it. Same with Unicorn Overlord. One of those may be the next game that I start, though.
I feel like Unicorn Overlord is might be a Josh game.
I feel like they're both a Josh game. Just Shin Megami Tensei is really fucking grindy. Uh, I've basically made a resolve to myself that I have to get through at least enough of these games to know if I liked it or not before we start getting the tidal wave of Switch 2 info in about a month. Because
Yeah.
I that direct in April is probably going to wreck my wallet.
Yeah. You gonna come on and argue with Ed on the direct recap show after that episode? After that direct?
I might. I mean, listen, I'm very in on Switch 2 right now from everything that we know. I'm very in on this.
Dude, new Mario Kart?
I just need to see the first party games. That's my concern.
You saw
That's
Mario Kart. That's all you
I
need.
don't I'm gonna just say something so controversial to you right now that I cannot dare say in Ed's presence. I don't give a fuck about Mario Kart.
I'm gonna level with you. I don't think Ed cares about Mario Kart except for Double Dash is the only one he likes.
Oh, dude, because Double Dash is goated.
Dude.
Double Dash is goated.
I
have my GameCube still, Corey. I still have a GameCube for like one reason, and I'm not even kidding that it's Double Dash. I also think I have the DK Mongos underneath my bed somewhere.
Yeah, I have those somewhere too. As you can see, the giant mess behind me.
I've cleaned out a lot of my gaming paraphernalia over the last 5 or 6 years, but the GameCube has survived every purge, and I think it'll continue to survive the purges. But as more of these games come to the Switch, I'm less inclined to keep the GameCube. Yeah. If they ever bring Melee to the Switch, it's over for me. Melee and Double Dash would be the thing that, because I still have both of those, that would be the thing to get me to finally sell my GameCube, I think. So those are about the only 2 games I have that I really care about that I can't, well, Wind Waker also, that I can't get on the Switch yet.
Yeah. So here's my quick theory. Here's my quick and dirty theory, Josh.
Give me your
Okay.
quick and dirty theory. I like your dirty theories.
Any remaster from here on out, because they said they're going to continue to support the Nintendo Switch one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're going to support it with these remasters and
Yep.
remakes.
Yep.
And those will all come to Switch 1. All of the new games, like the brand new games, except for maybe Pokemon, will come to Switch 2.
So I want to ask you something. Do you think that Mario Kart's going to be cross-gen?
Nope.
Okay.
I think that I think the only game that we know about right now that'll be cross-gen will be Metroid.
Considering it was originally revealed at a Switch 1 Direct, that would be my feeling as well.
Mm-hmm.
Also, don't forget, Pokemon Legends is technically going to be cross-gen. ZA,
Yes.
Because that's coming out later this year.
Well,
God, you want to talk about a shit-ass Direct? The Pokemon Presents are like legitimately the worst presentations of any company.
Oh, I know. They suck.
And I'm not gonna lie, the new Pokemon Legends looks like straight ass.
It's because it's a Switch 1 game.
It's
Pokemon,
not even that it's a Switch 1 game, dude. This game legitimately looks like it is a Wii game. That's what this looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's
not good.
The Pokemon Company has never been good at developing since they started putting games on the Switch. They have not been great at developing.
At this point, I'm wondering if it's Pokemon Company or if it's Game Freak. I'm genuinely wondering.
I mean, it's
because I think it's both.
It's one of them, right? I mean, it's definitely
the problem is this is like what we talk about with Call of Duty every year, right? Like they make so much money hand over fist that they have no incentive to change their ways.
Right. I mean, and
I hate the argument before anybody starts. I hate the argument of, well, it's a kid's game. Why do you care? Because
Pokemon's amazing.
Because Pokemon's amazing. I want kids to have that same awesome experience that I did with Red and Silver and Ruby and Sapphire. Like I want them to have that same experience, like that, like I had with Stadium. Like I want them to have that same. I'll bust out fucking Hey You Pikachu. I don't care.
Here, yeah, and like the thing too is like my kids are starting to get into Pokemon because I've downloaded the
trading card game.
The trading card game, and you get 2 free packs every night. So I let my kids each open one, and it's been really fun, like getting having them involved in it. And yeah, if it ran, the only Pokemon game that runs well is the Let's Go game.
Unironically, the Let's Go game might be the best one on the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard good things about the first Legends, about Arceus.
It runs like garbage.
Though. I know it runs like garbage, but I still heard that like overall, like mechanics wise, it's a fun game. Like, but it's like, man, I just remember how shitty Sword and Shield looked when I played them, and I hadn't bought a mainline Pokemon game since probably Ruby and Sapphire. Outside of Let's Go, I did buy the Let's Go games for my girlfriend and I because she never played Pokemon growing up. That was actually her first Pokemon game was Let's Go.
Jeez.
So she thinks it's the greatest thing to ever exist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, like Let's Go, honestly, not that bad. It's not challenging, but it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's kids' first Pokemon.
It's kids' first Pokemon, but I still had fun with it. I'm a grown-ass adult, and I had fun with it.
Plus, it was a way for them to integrate your Pokemon that you caught.
It was like 25 when that came out. Like, of course, I thought it was fun.
Yeah. From Pokemon Go, like
you could transfer your Pokemon back and forth, which I did.
Yeah.
I did that with Sword and Shield too. I got a bunch sitting in my bank. Yeah. I had a good time with it. Like, but I guess when I talk about like this is always the concern whenever a console comes out, right? Is it going to have the software to support it? Because Nintendo historically not amazing at launch lineups.
Yeah.
Microsoft I was thinking about like if you were to do a Mount Rushmore of like gaming lineups for when a console releases, that like in terms of like sheer amounts of like good software, you probably have the GameCube, you have the original Xbox, you have the 360, and then I think you have the PS5. It's really hard to argue with the PS5 at this point. I'd be willing to put that on there over If we're
What
going strictly by launch day titles, I'd probably put it on there over the GameCube.
what came out for PS5? It was Demon Souls and what was
Demon
the other?
Souls, Miles Morales,
Miles Morales.
Sackboy,
Right. Okay.
Astro's Playroom. There
Yeah.
was something else. They had some other game that launched on day one. That's a pretty good first party lineup on day one.
Yeah.
The 360 mainly is being carried here by COD 2.
Yeah.
Call of Duty 2,
And
Project
Halo
Gotham 3, Cameo and Perfect Dark Zero.
Yeah.
The exclusive Xbox 360 version of American Wasteland. The original Xbox is here because of Halo, let's be honest. Halo, Oddworld Munch's Odyssey, Project Gotham, Fusion Frenzy, Amped.
Oh God, Amped.
Star Wars Obi-Wan, Tony Hawk 2X. Like, that was actually a pretty great lineup. Like, so just when I think about that, and then I think about how bad the Series X launch was, I think about how rough the PS4 one was. The PS4 one was what, Killzone and Knack? The Xbox One wasn't much better.
What did launch with the Xbox One?
Forza Motorsport 5. I almost said Forza Horizon 5. Forza Motorsport 5.
Rise, Son of Rome,
Rise and
3.
Dead Rising 3. And they had a bunch of digital games that were dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody remember Crimson Dragon or Loco Cycle?
Oh God, Loco Cycle! What a dumpster fire that was. But in March or April, we got Titanfall.
We did. It's just not a
that
technical launch game. Like, if we're talking launch windows,
I know.
Now, if we expand this to launch windows, the GameCube has to be on there.
I was saying more in terms of like the Xbox One, just in general. Like,
no, the best thing that I played in like the first 3 months of it was the Titanfall Alpha right after Christmas.
Yeah.
The cute manager at my GameStop gave me a code. It was awesome.
The locals used game store here still has the Titanfall helmet sitting.
Dude, the helmet or the statue?
The helmet.
God, I want that statue so bad.
That
statue is my white whale.
They had the statue for a while.
If I ever find it at a decent price, aka under $300, I've already informed my partner that I'm buying it, because that and the Halo 3 Legendary Edition are my two gaming white whales. I got one of them already with the Halo Reach statue. Edition? The Halo 3.
Oh,
the helmet.
Is that not like available anywhere? I thought that was like really easy to get.
It is. I just have never pulled the trigger on it.
Oh,
so. Almost had one for free, and that fell through. But yeah, no, my white whales of like collector's editions were always Halo 3, Halo Reach, and Titanfall 1. I have the Halo Reach statue now. Thanks to the best co-host on the Citadel.
Yes, LaRon.
Yeah, LaRon definitely sent me that big ass box. I really would. I would hope that a theoretical Switch 2 launch has Mario Kart. I do wonder, like, so what do we think the other first party game is? Is it 3D Mario?
See, I
don't think it's Metroid.
I don't think it is. Oh, it's definitely not Metroid. But you got to have that single player game, right? Like, you have to. If Mario,
there's no Breath of the Wild to save you this time.
No, but there's that rumor a long time ago that the Mario Odyssey team was working on a Donkey Kong.
I heard that one too. Kong. Yeah.
My theory, Josh, is that this is some sort of anniversary for Mario Galaxy 2.
15 years?
20, I think.
No, it's 15. It's 15.
Yeah. 15-year anniversary of Mario Galaxy 2. My theory is that this is going to be the launch game, is a Mario Galaxy 2 remake or remaster.
And I mean, like, that's
I mean,
okay, so here's a piece of trivia. It originally came out on May 23rd, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on, I'm pulling up my calendar. May 23rd, 2025 is a Friday.
Yep.
I genuinely think that's the launch date. I think that's the launch day.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting it out 2 weeks before the Keeleys also.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a direct in June, so you can have your follow-up little direct. I would expect a new IP to probably be here too. Because remember, in the first couple months of Switch, you got Snipper Clips at launch, which still love Snipper Clips.
Dude, Snipper Clips is secretly the best launch game outside of Zelda.
It's the best Nintendo launch game outside of Breath of the Wild since Mario 64.
Maybe, yeah.
If you're going, well, I don't see. Rogue Leader was a launch game on the GameCube.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That game was,
and that was published by Nintendo, and it's really hard for me. Snipper Clips is not better than Rogue Leader. I got love for it, but
not with that attitude.
And then you got what was that? What was the fighting game?
Arms.
With the springy arms. It was just arms. Is that all it was?
All caps, arms.
So you got arms, and you had Splatoon 2 in that launch window.
Mm-hmm.
Within the first few months after launch.
And yeah.
And there was never any hint of arms before that.
No.
I would expect arms, not arms, but some sort of new weird IP at launch. Yeah, maybe legs. Who knows? What if it got a new Punch Out?
I
would be thrilled for a new Punch Out.
They essentially said that Punch Out was dead. Somebody said that in an interview, like within the last 6 months. Somebody asked about Punch Out. It was the developer of the Wii one, because they pitched a sequel for the Switch, and Nintendo said no because they put Arms out, and that was their fighting game for the console.
Well, Arms was a massive flop, so
it wasn't a massive flop. I think it sold 3 million units.
Okay, but listen, when we factor in Nintendo first party sales and it was the first year of a new console, I'm going to be like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought Arms was very bad.
It was not amazing.
It is not good. There is a reason we have not seen anything with this game in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I did not like Arms.
Yeah,
Arms is not good.
The other prevailing theory is that Kid Icarus is in development somewhere, like a Fall to Uprising.
The 3 franchises that I want to come back are just dead at this point, and that's Punch Out, F-Zero, and Star Fox.
F-Zero not dead, man. They released F-Zero 99.
Okay, listen. As maybe the only person on the planet who was excited for something new F-Zero, when it got announced as 99, my heart just sank.
I mean, that's fair, but we still got a new one. Sort of.
I'm so upset. I'm just so upset. But yeah, to get this off Nintendo talk, I think that we're kind of in wait-and-see mode to see what they do regarding the rest of Microsoft's slate this year and when things are going to launch. I think that's why they're just being really vague with anything past Doom. And we both expect Nintendo or Microsoft to have a pretty big presence at either this Direct or at the Direct that will be this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're at both, personally. I think that once the Switch 2 is out, that gives Microsoft clearance to announce Switch 2 projects at like their own shows, obviously. Mm-hmm. And we've seen Nintendo doesn't give a shit if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
So
I can't wait to hear the Nintendo Direct voice announce the Master Chief Collection.
God, it's going to make me cringe so bad. Honestly, the best way to do that would be to have Phil Spencer and Steve Downes announce it together.
Relive Master Chief's greatest adventures on Nintendo Switch 2.
That would just break my heart. I really... Phil, if you're listening to this, I know you listen every weekly show listener. I need you to like fight for a 3-minute segment of just Microsoft-owned shit. I just need it. I need it. Although I'm sorry, you guys are banned from announcing the Hi-Fi Rush port. You're officially banned from it. You can't do it. Sorry. Get John Johannes out there again and let him announce the port of his game that you so horribly butchered. You guys can announce the port of I don't know. What else are we still missing from Xbox that's come out? You guys can announce Forza Horizon 5 for the Switch 2. That's what you guys can announce.
Doom the Dark Ages.
Doom the Dark Ages is going to run at like 10 FPS on that console.
Well, you know, I mean, it'll be in line with the Switch versions of Doom and
Jesus
Doom Eternal.
Christ. Yeah, we're really keeping it in the family there.
Which is funny because the the ports of the old games run at like 60 plus.
They're going to be announcing fucking FPS boost for games that came out on the Switch 1, and it's just all Xbox games.
I mean, you joke, but
I kind of don't.
Supposedly that NVIDIA AI thing that they're using is going to do that.
I would, no jokingly, and this is obviously our last thing because we need to get on with it. I would expect games that have I would say 50% or greater chance of getting announced. Forza Horizon 5, Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush. Those 3 are locks as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you're going to get. I think Deathloop is one that could get announced as a port. That one would not shock me to see at all. Yes, Microsoft does own Deathloop. I kind of forgot about it too. Beyond those 4,
you think that Oblivion remake, if that's real,
the Oblivion remake, if it's real, the Oblivion remake is getting announced. I still think that's the reason why we haven't heard about it yet, is because they're waiting for Switch 2 because it's going to come to the Switch 2.
Well, remember Skyrim was the first game shown off for Switch outside of Zelda.
Yep. I expect it to come. What else? Oh, Fallout 4. I wouldn't be shocked to see Fallout 4.
You don't think
why not make some more money off it? This year's the 10th anniversary.
Yeah, but you don't think they'd push it out closer to when the show is coming?
I mean, they probably will, but there's nothing that stops them from announcing it.
Yeah, I mean, they could put 4 out now and then a 3 in New Vegas.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this would be a good opportunity to put out 4 for the Switch 2 and then drop New Vegas for all platforms when Season 2 comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do think New Vegas Remastered is coming. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
That takes you little to no effort. What else?
Didn't the TV show mention New Vegas?
Yes. The post-credit scene is New Vegas. Yep.
I didn't finish the show, so.
Well, sorry.
You've
had a year.
I mean, I don't care. I'm just saying I didn't get that far to know there was a post-credit scene.
I mean, you'll probably get the Age of Empires games ported over just because that's, again, something that's super easy to do.
Yeah, plus they'll be easy to play with the mouse support.
That's true. That actually is, I think,
1 and 2.
I think that's a really underrated feature of the Switch. Switch 2 is going to be the mouse-like support.
Mm-hmm. Especially if, like, Civ and XCOM and... Like,
Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah, Baldur's
Gate.
Now,
I don't know if Baldur's Gate 3 is going to run well on it, but... You know, it doesn't really run great on Steam Deck either, from what I've heard.
Yeah. The Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope Definitive Edition that Ubisoft will inevitably put out.
Yeah, I guess I was struggling to think of anything else that Xbox would have like in their back pocket right now. Psychonauts 2? I think Psychonauts 2 has to be one. I actually kind of forgot because that came out 4 years ago.
Yeah. I think you should package them both together.
I think you should too, because I selfishly really want that and the VR games on Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, Psychonauts 1 is on there, but yeah, I'd really selfishly like those. Hellblade 2, how are we feeling on that one? Because the rumor's been that it's coming to PS5 before the summer.
Yeah.
Announce it at the same time and be like, oh, hey, by the way, this was in the Nintendo Direct today. It's also coming to PS5 on the same day.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with that.
I'd be fine with that. Hellblade 1 did fine on the Switch, so
yeah.
It's at that point, it's just a matter of like, of course, it can handle the gameplay. Can it handle the graphics? Is really the only question. So if it can run on the Steam Deck, chances are it's probably going to be able to run on Switch too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, Josh.
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening to this episode of Xbox Casuals. You can find us every other Friday on your favorite podcast service. Leave us a 5-star rating and a nice review. You can also find me and Josh on Tower Casuals. Josh is on the upcoming episode of the Boss Rush podcast, so you can check that out too.
Yeah, I've been making a few appearances lately.
Yeah. I suspect you'll be floating in and out a lot more than Josh if you are available.
So, we will see.
But yeah, Josh, thank you for your time tonight, as always. And everyone out there, thank you for your time and your listens and your ears. And thank you so much for watching and or listening. And until next time, we love you. Goodbye.